And more than 24 House Democrats are now calling for President Trump's federal trials to be televised. And in a letter to the judge who oversees the federal courts, the Democrats argue that timely access to accurate and reliable information is needed, particularly for the public to fully accept the outcome. Cameras are not allowed in federal courtrooms. Let's bring in Chris Hahn, NewsNation political contributor, attorney, and former senior advisor to Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. So, Chris, part of this letter from Democrats, I wanted to read it just a little bit, further for viewers here. If the public is to fully accept the outcome, it'll be vitally important for it to witness as directly as possible how the trials are conducted, the strength of the evidence adduced, and the credibility of the witnesses. Democrats certainly make a point here, Chris, but what's the likelihood that the judge agrees?
Well, I don't think it's going to happen, having worked in federal courts myself early in my career. My federal court judge told me a joke. He said, what's the difference between God and a federal district court judge? God does not think he is a federal district court judge. So I do not believe that the judges will allow these trials to be broadcast, although I believe they should be broadcast. There's immense public interest in what's going on here. And if we're not seeing it for ourselves, all we're going to do is get spin. And I think we'd all appreciate seeing what's actually going on in the courtroom.
And last hour, Adrienne had talked to May Mailman, former White House attorney under the Trump administration. She said, but this adds a level of nervousness for the witnesses, bravado for the attorneys there who are at the trial. Do you agree with that argument?
Yeah, I think that, of course, when you put cameras in the courtroom, you add a little bravado to it. You add a little performative value to what's going on there. But that said, I think the public interest is outweighed by the risk of those things. And I believe we should see what's going on. Frankly, look, the courts are supposed to be public spaces, right, where the public can come in and see how justice is being delivered and determined. In this case, we have a courtroom that's going to maybe fit 50 to 100 people in it, where there are tens of millions of Americans who would like to see what is going on in that courtroom. And I think the federal courts need to come around to, the year 2023 and allow cameras in there, even if we put them in a way where they kind of blend into the fabric of the courtroom so they are not readily present. It's so easy to do that today. I think they should consider doing that, and I hope they do.
But, Chris, is it really about access to information, though? Or is this more about Democrats trying to ensure that President Trump's trials remain front and center heading into 2024?
I don't think there's any risk of the trials not being front and center. They are going to be the front page. We're going to be hearing what comes out of those trials every single day. The difference between having a camera in the courtroom is we're going to actually see what happens rather than just getting the spin and waiting for the transcript to determine whether or not those spins were correct or not.
And we know, obviously, the Democrats televised the January 6th committee hearings. It ultimately did not affect President Trump's rise in the GOP primary. He is still in the lead. So how much is televising this trial really going to change the public's opinion? Democrats aren't going to vote for you. His base, are already staunch supporters. They'll vote for him. I mean, how much does this really affect voters and those in the middle or undecideds?
Marky, as I've said to you before, elections are won in the margins. We're talking about a couple of thousand voters in 7 or 8 states that are going to determine who's the next president of the United States. And I think that those voters are going to want to know what's in it for them. They are going to be, I don't know if the trial is going to impact them as much as the candidates telling them what they can do for them. But I do think them seeing a former president who is standing for election being tried and his crimes being discussed openly and in detail could have a very detrimental effect on those marginal voters who are going to make up the difference in the election. Yeah,
and this is only going to get more interesting from here. I know Trump's attorneys have come forward and said they'll now get to relitigate every single aspect and issue in the 2020 election. Chris Hahn, thanks so much as always. Appreciate it.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.